Actually, Islam divides Pakistan. Shia, Sunni, Sunni Ahmadiyya. The only thing which unites Pakistan is that they have a hatred for India. And that they believe that it is their Allah-given mandate to dismember India. Now, unless we see that it is a war, and no war has been, हमेशा होता है, use minimum force. Which war has been won by using minimum force? You have to overwhelmingly crush the enemy. And it is only then, and you have to crush him repeatedly, so that they get convinced that yes, they will have to pay a price for this. That is why I have written very often for 20 years, this whole biblical thing, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, is completely wrong. For an eye, both eyes. For a tooth, the whole jaw. And I believe that this is yet another occasion. See, there is one of Obama's advisors has a very good sentence. He says, no crisis should be allowed to go waste. So this is another occasion for all of us to clarify our own mind in this regard. It is war. It is war to break India and bleed India. And no war can be won except by overwhelming force. And you can't go and first get orders from the Supreme Court in triplicate before fighting the terrorists. You have to overwhelm him suddenly. And you can't have this human rights business. Yes, we will respect the human rights of the others to the extent to which they respect the human rights of Indians, but only to that extent. And the important thing in this war is to see the nature. Don't go by Nawaz Sharif is a good man, Benazir is a girl who used to be with Rajiv Gandhi, modern educated, Zardari is a practical wheeler dealer. These are nobodies. You have to see the nature of Pakistani society and Pakistani state. In one of my books on defense, I've summarized in 20-30 pages a 200-page report of Pakistani academics on the curricula that is taught in Pakistani government schools. In that there is a instruction they reproduce of cultivating hatred towards Hindus and India. The instruction. I've quoted that. From kindergarten, not from class 2. From kindergarten, when the child is 5 or 6, they say there are a list of things on which he is to be judged. From that level, he is to be judged on the fervor and spirit with which he gives speeches on jihad and shahadat. This goes on till he enters university. This is printed. That you can download from the internet, that report. So we have to see, this is not in madrasas. This is in government schools. And about madrasas, we are completely shutting our eyes to that. There are 5 times more madrasas in Pakistan than there are government schools. And we say that Taliban was the product of Binori Mosque and Binori Madrasa in Karachi. But do you know what Binori Mosque and Madrasa are? They are Deobandis. Deoband is in India. But we don't want to look at it. Because either we are appeasing, or we are looking to a vote bank, or we don't want to take the trouble of reading their literature. Similarly, we must see the nature of the Pakistani state. It is not a state like India. You and I cannot realize the pervasive fear and the pervasive tentacles of the ISI. Ministers tremble, presidents tremble because of that. It is one of the most lethal and one of the most sophisticated intelligence agencies in the world. That controls Pakistani state. The Pakistani army controls that.
Or blue shirt.
The Pakistani soldier's oath requires him to break India. So we must see the nature of this Pakistani state and Pakistani society. And this episode again reminds us of that. From what has been released to the press, when Dr. Manmohan Singh rang up the Pakistan president, send me the head of the ISI. I don't know why he's asked him. Why not ask, send me Osama bin Laden, I need technical assistance. But Zardari agreed. And we are now told that Mr. Kayani, General Kayani, then met him and said, nothing doing. So suddenly the Pakistani president says, no, he did not tell me to send the Director General of ISI. He said Director of ISI. So I am sending an officer of Director level below Joint Secretary. So the whole of Pakistani society, the whole of the entire political establishment is in uniform denial. All the political parties went there and passed a resolution. We condemn this, but there is absolutely no doubt that this is all a result of internal religious warfare within India. All their parties. So who are you looking to for help? And second thing is, nobody else is going to help us. This business of appealing to Condoleezza Rice or putting faith in something, she's in any case going in 6 weeks. In any case, see, it is a maxim of American policy. If you read Kissinger's work, Brzezinski's work, they're great national security advisors. I'll give you just one principle of American foreign policy, which is that if there are two countries which are having tension among each other, Soviet Union at that time and China, India and Pakistan, Vietnam and China, wherever there are tensions, American policy is that with each of those capitals, you must have relations which are closer than they can have with each other at any time. It is a written principle and they follow it very well in their own interest. So America will have close relations with Islamabad, it will have close relations with India, closer than any time India and Islamabad can have. It has with Hanoi and with Beijing, it has with Moscow and with Beijing. They successfully follow it because they are concerned about their own national interest. We should be concerned about our own national interest. That is the point. To think that they will do our work, and especially today, when they feel that they are completely dependent on Pakistan for their so-called war on terrorism. That is the point. They are not going to help. They will go through the motions, and we, to convince ourselves that something is happening, we tell, oh, nahi, kuch ho raha hai. Americans kuch kar rahe. हम तो नहीं कुछ कर सकते, हम तो सिर्फ फोन कर सकते. And you see, there are two things which are always said in public. No, why not send the army, invade Pakistan? Second is, why not bomb their training camps? This shows an ignorance of both things. Why? Because there are no training camps for terrorists. The group meets at one place in a forest area. They are given thing, then they disperse and they live under or in a primary school. You will bomb the primary school,